It is 5:30. I would like to call this meeting to order. Mr. Martinez and Ms. Ochoa, if you could take your seat, please. Thank you. I will call for regular agenda item number 2, invocation and pledge of allegiance by Mr. Garza.
Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we pray for the decisions we face and the abilities you have given us. Give us the wisdom and strength in all we do. We come before you with heavy hearts as we remember the events of September 11. We're humbled by the bravery of the first responders. May we continue to heal and help each other with unity and kindness, just as we did that day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Garza.
Yes, sir.
Regular meeting agenda item number 3, introduction to the Mission Consolidated ISD Superintendent Dr. Carol Perez and Sharyland ISD Superintendent Dr. Maria M. Vidauri. Mr. Garza.
Mayor, City Council, once again, good afternoon. We do have two special guests here with us today. They're present with us today, and these two individuals play a huge role in our community. They are involved in our schools. They are at the helm of the two school districts that we work very closely with here in the City of Mission, which is the Mission CISD and the Sharyland ISD. And so with us today, we wanted to give them the opportunity to come and introduce themselves, not only to the mayor and the council, but also to the general public. So I am going to ask Ms. Perez and Ms. Vidauri to step up. I'm going to say a few words on their behalf and to welcome them. But Dr. Carol Perez, Mission CISD Superintendent, has 31 years of educational experience. Dr. Perez is a graduate of La Jolla High School, earned her Bachelor's of Arts degree in the University of Texas Pan American, and a Master's in Education in 1995 from UTPA. In 2010, Dr. Perez earned a doctorate in leadership from Texas A&M University, and this is in Kingsville. And Dr. Perez's career began in McAllen Independent School District as an English teacher. In 2013, Dr. Perez moved to Kingsville to take on the role of Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. She became the superintendent at Kingsville ISD in 2014. Dr. Perez has served in various county, state, and national advisory boards. Dr. Perez's objective at Mission CISD is to provide progressive and collaborative leadership, supervise all activities and personnel, and to ensure that all students reach their fullest potential in the development of academic skills and motivations to become responsible citizens. And I would like to introduce Dr. Carol Perez. Say a few words, please.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. It is a great pleasure to be here before you, and I'd like you to know something that you haven't read in the paper about myself, and that Mayor Ocaña was my 6th grade math teacher right out of college. I gotta say that, okay? And he was also my assistant principal over at La Jolla High School. So as you can see, I have had great mentors. And this community, we love. My family and I adore this community. This is the school that my daddy went to school, starting in elementary. We have very strong ties in this community, in this valley, so it is a pleasure to work with you collaboratively, and I look forward to working with you for many, many events and projects, and I know that your office has already contacted us. So again, thank you for the opportunity, and I've been seeing a lot of familiar faces. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. You want to wait till at the end, we're going to take a photo with the...
Yes, Dr. Perez, we're going to go and do that. Thank you, ma'am.
With the council.
We also have another lady who's no stranger to the City of Mission, Dr. Maria M. Vidauri. She is a Sharyland ISD superintendent, and we're here to also welcome Ms. Vidauri. She is, or has 33 years of experience in education. Dr. Vidaurri has served 26 years as an administrator, has spent the last 5 years as superintendent of schools at Robstown ISD, and was named superintendent of the year for Region 2 in 2017-2018. Dr. Vidaurri started her career in Alice ISD as a teacher, elementary coordinator, assistant principal, and principal. After 13 years of professional experience, she relocated to the Rio Grande Valley, where she has served as coordinator for curriculum, principal, and federal programs coordinator at Hidalgo ISD. Dr. Vidaurri spent 2 years as federal programs director at Sugarland ISD and 3 years at La Feria ISD as the assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction. Dr. Vidaurri is a graduate of Texas A&I University Kingsville, where she earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in elementary education, Master's of Science in Educational Administration, Superintendent Certificate, and doctoral degree in Educational Leadership. Please help me welcome Dr. Vidaurri.
Good evening, Mayor and City Councilman. Thank you all for having us here today. What a special event. I have not seen this anywhere where superintendents are invited to meet, but what an opportunity we have to do what's right for our district, to do what's right for our city. Yes, I lived in Mission, Texas for a long time, and it feels so good to be back home. I haven't had the honor of setting up a meeting with you, but I know you've reached out, and I will do that shortly. But again, what an opportunity we have to work collaboratively for the best interest of our kids and our students. And I would like to put a plug in for our Board of Trustees. What an opportunity. I know that it is their goal that we work together with the City of Mission and the Mission School District to do, again, what's best for our community. So thank you again for having us. It's great an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all want to step up to the... You want to sit over here? So we can have a little balancing. It's okay. Please.
One, two, three.
One more, please.
How's my hair, Craig?
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Good luck to you.
I'll give you a call.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Regular meeting agenda item number 4, presentation of Cámara de Comercio Internacional.
Hello, Mayor. Hello, City Council. My name is Steve Lopez, and I am the Secretary of the Cámara de Comercio Internacional. I'm here to report to you that our event for this Saturday has been canceled due to rain. It's going to be raining all week, and there's rain forecast for Saturday as well. So unfortunately, we have no choice but to cancel the event. We know it's going to be a danger to people being out there, and plus we want to have a good, successful event, so it's best that we cancel it. What we're trying to do is minimize our losses, because we do have money that we've invested in promoting the event and stuff like that. We have expenses that we've already paid. So what we're going to do is plan on having a posada this December, and convincing our vendors and people that have already paid into it to see if they'd stay on with us, give them that option to December, and then that'll give us more time to plan something a lot bigger and better. So that's what I have to bring to you guys. And also for the posada, if there's any way that you guys can help us, like you did for this grito, we'd really appreciate it, and we'll be coming back to you with something that you can put our heads together, see if we can work on minimizing our losses. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Mayor, I had a question.
Question to...
Sir, hi, thank you.
Mhm.
Will you be removing or putting something on the sign that's down Conway? Because I just saw it.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring that down. We'll get with Ms. Ida and the museum tomorrow. We also plan on getting together with media and making some type of announcement, so that way we don't have citizens showing up on Saturday expecting to see something and seeing nothing there. So, yeah, we do plan on getting the word out and making sure that everybody knows that it's been canceled.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Regular agenda item number 5, report from the Greater Mission Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Rosell.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. I'll begin with upcoming events. First on the agenda, we have our Buenas Tardes Luncheon this Friday on September 14th from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Mission Event Center with former Dallas Cowboy and former Texas A&M Aggie Dak Gwynn. The address for this event will be 202 South Sherry Road, Mission, Texas. Next on the agenda, we have a membership mixer at the Loretto on Thursday, September 20th, from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The address for this event will be 1233 East Griffin Parkway, Mission, Texas. On Tuesday, September 25th, we're hosting a ribbon cutting for Heavenly Healthcare, one of our newest chamber members, from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., with the ribbon cutting at 11 a.m. sharp. The event will take place at the members' location, which is 1506 East Griffin Parkway, Suite B, Mission, Texas. And lastly, on today's agenda is on Friday, October 5th. We have scheduled our 2018 annual banquet and Chamber Choice Awards from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. The event will take place at the Mission Event Center, which again, the address is 200 South Sherry Road, Mission, Texas. Any questions?
Yes, sir. On behalf of the City of Mission, we want to thank you for being part of the City of Mission with us, and we appreciate and we want to send you with nice blessings in your new endeavor.
Thank you, Mayor, and as a former City Council member, it's been a pleasure to work with you as Mayor, as also to all the City Council, and it was true when we talked on the phone that Mission's going to have a special place on my heart, so people are very, very welcoming, and I'm going to miss you guys, so thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Give
you.
him a hand. Regular meeting agenda item number 6, departmental reports. Any of the council members want to specifically look at any departmental reports as presented by staff? Any questions on any of the departmental reports?
Mayor, I'm with to approve. There's no questions.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the departmental reports as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item, regular meeting agenda item 7, citizens' participation. Anybody that wants to come before us at this time to address us for any issue that is not on the agenda, please state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to state your...
Virginia Townsend, 1603 Vintage Lane. Not on the agenda, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
After me sitting through a workshop, I can't talk about it? Right, I'll talk in generalities.
I was going to say, I think general statements will be appropriate.
Okay, it'll be general. Okay, I don't know if it's against the law to start a year with a budget that doesn't, a minus budget. I don't think so. If it isn't against the law, it should be. I believe there isn't anybody that would ever doubt that our firemen need a raise to be fair, straight across the board. But it's got to be done when we have the money. And we don't have the money right now. So we've got to work out something so we do it when we do have the money. We just can't start out with a budget that's not right. Can't do that. Is that on the agenda? I don't know. Anyhow, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson.
Thank you,
I don't
Thank you, ma'am.
see legal. Anybody else? Please state your name and your address, please, for the record.
Yes, sir. Leopoldo Garza, 1600 Heritage Lane, Mayor, Councilman. I'm here to speak about the flooding on Stewart Lane. I'm sure there's a lot of us that I'm here to represent my neighborhood, and I know there's flooding throughout the city, and I know it's not the council's fault. Mother Nature does what Mother Nature does. I know we've set up the city, first of all, to all the responders that respond to help us in our neighborhood, thank you very much, all of you. There was one of you firemen, thank you very much. And the firemen and police, they were out there doing your job, thank you very much. I know there's a sole fireman out there helping people pull them out of their cars. Thank you. I don't remember your name, I don't recall your face, it was at night, but thank you very much. What we're asking is, I know that when situations like this happen, the city is spread thin with their employees, police, and firefighters. We understand that as citizens. What we want to do in our neighborhood is supplement the officers or firemen or city workers that respond to our area by helping put up the barriers. If you send one officer out there to man the barriers, we'd like to supplement them. And we want to help. We want to be part of the solution. And that I'm asking is there any type of training or whatever it is to bring neighborhoods like mine and the citizens that live there of Mission and put us together, put us on a list and say, when this happens or we see it's going to happen, bring us in, we'll get the barricades, we'll turn that generator on so we can
help
the city of Mission. There's plenty of us out there that would love to do that to help ourselves and the city. So the city can use their officers, the firemen, their employees elsewhere where it's needed more. And I know that there's flooding throughout the city. I wish we had a magical wand to take care of that, but we don't. I'm just asking that if we can get on a board or a committee for that neighborhood, we'd love to do that so we can help out.
Thank you, Mr. Garza.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Tony Cordova. I live at 1600 Vintage Lane, Mission. The problem I want to address is the flooding on Stewart Road where our subdivision is. I understand from the previous mayor that they spent $5 million to put in bigger drainage tubes to go under Stewart Road, but it didn't alleviate the situation. I understand June the 20th we had a 16-inch rain there. Everything got flooded. My house got flooded. I am just now getting my house back together. A 16-inch rain, I can understand that you don't have any control of that. Nobody has any control over that. That's nature. But last night we had a 4-inch rain, and the same problem occurred. We didn't flood, but it almost did. And what I am so afraid of is that now that we're in the hurricane season, we're going to have larger rains than a 4-inch, and I'm anticipating that we're going to have another flood there. There has to be a way to address this drainage problem. When the water rises, if you could just put barriers up at Business 83 on the south side of Stewart and on the 495 and prevent traffic from coming through there when the water is high, because when the vehicles go through there, they create a wave, and even though the water is not high enough to get in the house, the wave and the wake will make the waves go in. Last night, I was in the middle of the street trying to get people to slow down, and I got cussed out more times than I've ever been because people wanted to drive by. People that had small cars, I would tell them, your car's not going to make it. Please turn around for your own safety. But people in vehicles, four-wheel drive, they can make it through, but they don't realize they're making a big wake. We need to have policemen out there directing traffic to keep them from coming in. The policemen were very professional and courteous, but they were helping the people in the cars that got drowned out rather than helping us stop traffic to make the waves come in our house. I am looking for a solution for the drainage. If you can do something, turn on the pumps earlier. We got more water coming, hurricane season is coming, we need some help. That's all I'm here to ask for, is some assistance in the drainage so our area doesn't flood. I don't know what the solution is. Maybe it's putting in more storm drain sewers on the other side of the street, because they put them on the east side but not on the west side, and we need some help. Mrs. Townsend, who's my neighbor across the street, she got flooded. Her car she was turning in to go to her house, and another vehicle was coming, and it made a wake, washed her car up on the sidewalk. She couldn't get off. She sat there for hours and water up to her waist.
Mr. Mayor, I'm
Border
sorry.
patrolman and another neighbor.
Excuse me, Mr. Cardona.
I'm sorry, Mayor. I just wanted to remind the council, we do have a 3-minute rule with regard to this.
Your 3 minutes are up, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you could briefly just...
I need some help. We need a solution to the drainage.
Thank you.
And I apologize for my address. It was an impromptu notice to me, and I'm sorry for my address, but I would have dressed properly for the occasion, but I do have a suit.
Yes. Not a problem, sir. We got the information down, sir.
Only the one. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I hope we can reach some kind of a solution to the drainage.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, guys. My name is Ramon Garza. I live on 1917 East 21st Street. And I want to thank you, Mayor, and Martin. You're the only ones that gave me your phone numbers when I was having a problem with my area. And I live on 1917 East 21st. That's the worst area in between, if you go on 21st or Marlin, they merge to the bottom. And my area goes, you guys go high, and then all the way to my area goes down. So we're getting the water from 21st and Marlin and the church going into that area. So, and I know you guys are trying to do something about it, but I just want to come in and remind you that we need to do something right away on that area. Like I said, for now, I think I talked to you, Mayor. I mean, we need some pumps for now until we get something done with the 3 acres that is back there. I think if you do a reservoir back there, and I think we talked, Mr. Garza.
We did, sir.
It will solve the problem even for the 21st and for Marlin. It will solve the problem for them also, because that water is going to go into that reservoir. And like I said, that's the only concern I had. And like I said, I'm already set for whatever happens in the next week or so. But that's if we don't get flooded. It just cost me $60,000 to rebuild my home. So yeah. I want to thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, City Council and Mayor.
Good afternoon.
My name's Susan Garza, and I'm from 1720 Corrales Street in Mission. And my home completely flooded, and I lost everything. And I've talked to many people. I've done some homework. We have a major issue on that street. And I had like 2.5 feet of water in my home. I'm just here to see what they can do, because I'm wanting to rebuild, but I don't even know if I should rebuild in the conditions that the street, and there's absolutely no drainage. I found out recently from the county that it's actually, I thought it was 6 feet difference between Stewart Road and the end of the street, but it's actually 12. That's a serious problem. I'm getting all the McAllen landfills water, everything that's on Stewart Road, all going down there, and it has nowhere to go, because a lot of those subdivisions have barriers around them, all the new ones that have come up, so that water's trapped. And I need some help. I've asked also to clean out the ditch. After last night's rain, I need them to put some dirt back at the barrier, because it broke the barrier. Well, now the water's really coming through there into my backyard. I've asked also that they clean out the lot that's behind me, and nothing's been done, and we're at week 11. So I'm just asking for y'all's help. it's serious out there. It's a big issue, and like I said, right now I don't have a home, I can't live there, but I would like for them to address it, and I think that if there's any money anywhere, that's where it needs to go. It needs to go into some drainage in that area. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, what was your address?
Susan Garza.
No, your address?
1720 Corrales.
Okay.
You got it
Mission.
down.
It's on
Yes.
2.5 mile North Stewart.
We'll go check it out.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, City Manager, my name is Tony Guerrero. I live at 2113 East 20th here in Mission, Texas. Mayor, I want to thank you for coming to my aid last night. Martin, I want to thank you for coming to my aid. Jessica, thank you very much. I lost my home on June 22nd. I lost 2 vehicles. I lost my daughter's vehicle. She came to the window, said, my car's floating. So we went and tied it to a tree. Devastating to watch water coming in through all 4 sides of your home to a depth of at least 12 inches. And you're just sitting there looking at your wife and you're looking at your child. The dog's asleep because I put it on top of the recliner. Something needs to get done. This morning, I'm living in Edinburgh now. I haven't lived in my house since it was flooded. I've put probably about $65,000, $70,000 back into the house. Living in Edinburgh, I left my house last night about 1:45. I've asked for obstacles. My wife tried calling the Public Works Department. She got the Public Works Department in Mission, California. Nobody answers the phone. This morning, I drove back to the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. I went to the Public Works Department and sat there in front from 7 to 8. I got some sleep, and then I had a meeting with Mr. Salinas. I met with Mr. Salinas on June 24th. He promised me that the drain that goes through the 2 drains that drain down to our house would be taken care of. That was 70 days ago. Nothing ever happened. Today, he promised me that he would get back to me by 5 o'clock this afternoon. I had 76 phone calls today, and nothing ever happened. I even texted the mayor this morning at 8 o'clock, told him that we had agreed that he would call me today. They were going to do some type of robotics and take a film in the drain. I said, you don't have to do that, it's full. So we have a situation. I was one of the lucky ones. My insurance agent is Raymond Longoria. He said, you know, there's some things happening here in Mission with drainage, and I would recommend you and your wife get some insurance. And we did. We were very lucky that I had Raymond, you know, my brother from another mother. I was very lucky I had him on my side, and today I increased that insurance knowing that those hurricanes are fixing to come into the Gulf of Mexico. Mayor, something happened with the money to work the drainage on Stewart Road. I don't know if it's coming into a smaller pipe and it's all backing up, but I do know on my block it's the canal that runs behind our subdivision that was backed up because it was not full last night. We sat in water for 4 hours last night, and I watched wake after wake coming into my garage, and I'm thinking that we're flooded again. Help. Everybody here is going to cry for your help. That's what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero.
Thanks, Tom.
Anybody else would like to address the council?
My name is Claudia Vasquez, 2102 East 19th Street. Same issue, Mayor. I'm going to try not to cry. We also lost our home June 21st. To have a 5 and a 4-year-old see water coming from every single place, every corner of the home. Sandbags don't help, because when you're in a flood, water is coming in from everywhere. Back door, garage, behind the cabinets, the kid's bedroom, everywhere. Our 4-year-old son calls our house a flooded house. Mom, are we going back to our flooded house yet? They're scared. Last night, after 45 minutes of rain, I walked to the middle of the street. Water was up to my knees already. To my knees, with just 45 minutes of downpour. I know 19th Street has 2 drainages, and that's about it. And with any little rainfall, if it's steady, it backs up, and it backs up quickly. Whether it's debris or those newspapers that nobody picks up from the neighborhood, it's getting pushed in those drainages. So we really just need, cleanup, if possible. I know I sound like a broken record. I know everybody's complaining about it, but when you have your 4-year-old traumatized at the sound of thunder now, or when they see it raining and they're just like, Mom, is it going to flood? Do we need to leave house again? Do we need to go somewhere else because it's going to flood? That's what's scary. I'm not from Mission. We moved here 8 months ago, or last October. We just bought our house. And for it to flood, it's sad. I mean, I picked Mission as a place to live because I like the area. I enjoy the neighborhood. I enjoy the community. I love how Mission is as a community in the city itself. And I really want to stay here, Mayor. But we just really need that drainage cleanup. We need something fixed in that whole neighborhood on Glasscock. That water just comes down straight to us. There's a little dip on Glasscock in between 495 and 83, and all that water just piles up right there on Lauren, and that's our neighborhood. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I speak on behalf of our neighborhood, on behalf of one of my neighbors that lives on, I believe it's 20th Street as well, that couldn't be here today. So, I mean, that's all I ask for. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Same problem? You've done, I think, 3 things. You guys, my name is Ismael Lopez, 1703 East, 21st Street. First, you guys put like a little bump on Stewart that was supposed to prevent water from coming from Stewart to the street. And then you guys put some kind of blacktop, like 4 inches, 3 inches, I don't know how much. And what it did, it only spread the water wider. But I live right in front of the sewer. So if you look back, you're going to see that you guys have done try to help, but it hasn't worked. Like I said, there's those 3 things that I can recall right now: the bump, the blacktop. I heard something about pipes, but I didn't get to see that. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Anybody else wants to address under citizens' participation? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address.
Yesenia Olivares. I'm living at East 21st Street, Mission, Texas. We're behind the church. The church built high. The church is, this parking lot is here, right here, and my yard's right here. So, and in the parking lot, they have like a little gaps. So we become the drainage, and we need help. And I've had flood insurance, but there's so many people that don't have flood insurance. So I'm here for everybody's. The drainage needs to be fixed. Because we become the drainage for the church and Stewart. So that needs to be fixed. This is, I mean, if you know it's so expensive to rebuild and the time, and we work so hard to have our houses. And please, just do something. Don't just hear us here and that's it. Do something.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Mayor, City Councilman. Daniel Salinas, 1804 East 21st Street. We got flooded back on June 21st. A lot of my neighbors lost quite a bit. And I think you guys really need to look at the drainage issue. It's ridiculous last night that we got 4 inches of rain and there's flooding already starting on the streets. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen when a hurricane hits, okay? Back in June 21st when we got 16 inches, that was a freak weather rainfall, and that was expected. A lot of people got flooded, not just in Mission, all over this area, right? I am just asking for you guys to please really look at this issue. There are families that have lost so much, and then to think that we're going to get more rain this week, and it can happen again. I just put a new flooring in. I just got my house all built. One day later, my street is starting to flood again. So please, I am asking you, for everybody out there that has suffered so much through this, please take a look at this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, my name is Daniel Rodriguez. I know Martin very well, Mayor, City Councilman. I live in 1806 East 21st Street. Last time in June, like everybody else, we got flooded. I'm in the middle of trying to get my house back. It looks like, I mean, it's in the tens of thousands that we need to put in there. Where we're going to get it, I don't know, but we're going to have to do something. It's our home. I'm sure that your houses are good, and if they're affected, you'd be very worried also. I have one of the main reasons that I'm here is that because I have my son, he's over in the back, has a heart condition. There's been times where we have to rush out to the hospital, many times. And if something like this is happening, what's going to happen? Who's going to be there? Am I going to be able to get him to the hospital in time? It's not a cold, it's not anything like that. It's serious. He's already had 3 open heart surgeries. He's had multiple other hospitalizations, serious enough, life-threatening, all of them. And when we're sitting there and we see the water coming up, it's so scary. And to try and keep calm, you're the head of the family, and you want to keep the family calm, and you're panicking because you're seeing things like the water's coming up, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, you know, this is not a new area. Mayor, I know you just came in, but this problem has been going on for many years. I don't know what the previous mayor did or didn't do, and I don't care at this point. All I care right now is I don't want for all my neighbors, and there's been other neighbors that couldn't be here. I was pretty lucky as far as it compares to the other neighbors, some of the other neighbors. But it's just not right. You know, if this water bill comes in, it has a lot of things in there. It has it has all my, you know, I've just got to go make my payment right now. It's very difficult, very, you know, it's hard to, you know, to imagine. You got to put yourself in our shoes. If you don't, you know, I don't know, but if you got to do that, it's just hard, and we need to get that fixed. I don't know what engineering company it was, but obviously, you know, it's either criminal or highly, you know, incompetent for them to look at what we have, what was there and what's there and what's now, and to just do what they did, and for that, you know, for it to happen again and again and again. It's just 4 inches. It did what it did. You know, it didn't get into my house today, but last time it did. But it's hard. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Zelda Guerrero. I live at 2113 East 20th. My husband is Tony Guerrero. I know he already addressed you, but I wanted you to know that I speak for a lot of these families and the families that live in my neighborhood that are not here today. I have lived in my neighborhood for 20 years. I am not from Mission, and I didn't want to live here when my husband moved me here. But I came to live here in Mission because it's a small community, and if we had a family, I wanted to raise my children here. I was very sad on June 21st when I lost my home. In 30 minutes, the water rose so quickly that we could not evacuate. And when we were able to evacuate after 7:30 p.m., water was up to my waist, and I'm short. My husband is tall, and so is my daughter. It was devastating to watch everything that we've worked for so hard and lose it so quickly. And I know I speak for everyone here. We all live in different areas, but we've all experienced the same thing. I was lucky I had flood insurance, but let me tell you, to this day, I've seen one payment from my flood insurance. We have had to take out multiple loans to fix our home. Last night was unacceptable. The city has done nothing to provide any sort of drainage resolution for any of us in the city. We should not have flooded on June 21st or last night. Last night was unacceptable. That was 4 inches. If it happened last night, it is going to happen again. If a hurricane hits this area, we will be underwater again, and I will lose everything that I have had to repair in the last 90 days, and we have not even moved into our home yet. I just put in appliances Saturday, and last night when I watched the water rise and start coming into my garage, and my husband stayed there till 1:30 in the morning, I couldn't believe that I was going to lose the few things that I had already put back into my home, along with the $70,000 of repairs that we put in. It shouldn't happen to us, and it shouldn't happen to any of these people you see here tonight begging for your help. You are our city leaders, and it is your responsibility to help us and to take care of the city. And unless you have been through what we have all been through, losing our homes, our clothing, our cars, our personal belongings, then you do not understand what it feels like to walk out with nothing but the clothes on your back and you're soaking wet. And then you go back, your home is still flooded, and 24 hours later the stench begins. The humidity does not help. So it doesn't matter what you lose in the water, it doesn't matter, because the stench and the humidity will take care of everything else. So what I didn't lose in the water, I lost with the humidity and the stench. If you don't go through this, then you don't understand, and you can sit here and shake your hands and say you're going to do something about it. You can shake your head and say you understand, but you don't. Because unless you went through it, and you felt the heartache that we all have felt and continue to feel now after what happened last night, then you will not understand. And people don't understand. When they tell you they do, it's not true. You have to feel it, and you have to go through it. And everyone here is begging because we need help. It shouldn't have happened. It should not happen. I pay a lot in taxes, so do all these people. And I pay a lot on that water bill of them for nothing. I called the Public Works System 3 times and no one called me back. To this time right now, no one has returned my calls. I've called multiple times in the last 5 years for barricades, so people stop coming through my neighborhood, because we've gotten flooded. We've had flooding in our neighborhood before, up in the street, never up in my house. Nobody can bring me barricades because they're not even available. Where are they? Oh, wait a minute. They're on Sherry Road, Stewart Road, and Glasscock. I'm sorry, but I don't live in the fancy neighborhoods. I live in a normal neighborhood because I'm a middle-class person. And a lot of us live in middle-class neighborhoods. But everyone's so busy working on Stewart and Sherry and everywhere else that no one is addressing the problems that the rest of us on 21st and 19th and 20th are having. We're all the same. We're all human. It doesn't matter where I live, it doesn't matter where I come from, it doesn't matter how much income I have. We're all the same, we're all experiencing the same problems, and you need to address this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor, City Council, Mike Silva, 2118 East 27th Street. I just want to address the council and pretty much to the citizens of Mission that we just want to let everyone know that the fire department is always going to be there for them. Us, always on the front line for these guys, for our citizens that we serve, our visitors that we serve. We take pride in what we do. And this is, to hear everything that we're hearing today and on June 21st, it's heartbreaking because we too see all the devastation that our citizens are facing. We see it, we do in all the rescues, all the things that we face, we too feel what they're feeling. So I just want to address this council and to the citizens of Mission, we're always here for you guys, no matter what. Thank you.
Anybody else?
My name is Brenda Wilson, and I live at 1704 East 21st. I live in the middle of the block. The drainage is in front of my home. On June the 21st, I flooded, but that wasn't the first time. I have flooded 3 times. I can't keep doing it. Our homes over there are worth nothing. We can't sell our homes. Who wants to buy a home on 21st Street? Nobody. We lost our home. We lost everything inside our home. I lost my car. But I'll tell you the thing that I lost the most that can't be replaced. You never expect water to be high enough in your home to go in chest of drawers. And I have 2 boys that are grown, and I started scrapbooks for them when they were 5 years old. And the scrapbooks are gone. Those are the things that, seriously, maybe I shouldn't say it, but it pisses me off. Because I can replace my home, I can replace my furniture, but I can't replace those things. And I don't know what needs to be done, but I know since I flooded the first time in 2004, flooded the second time in 2008, and then I flooded in June. Nothing's changed. We keep hearing the people of Mission tell us they're going to do something. And every time it rains or there's clouds in the sky, and every one of these guys know that live on our street, we sit at our front doors and we pray that God will not let it rain. I don't want to do that anymore. I love my home. I love Mission, and I'm not from Mission, but I've been here a long time now. But this has got to stop. This has got to be something be done to where people aren't losing everything we own.
Thank you. Hello.
My name is Lisa McDonald, 1610 East 21st Street. June 21st was devastating, the water, and I consider myself lucky. We got 1.5 feet. I have a 9-year-old daughter that freaked out. She panicked. She cried. She didn't want to go back home. It took her 2 weeks to get back home. She was with my mother. We lost some things. Again, we were lucky. But last night she panicked again. Panic attacks because of the water. You know what that feels like as a parent? To see your child upset and crying, not wanting to live there anymore. This is our home. 15 years we've lived there. I'm not from Mission either. I love my town. I love it here. I love the schools, the people. But I'm not happy with the way it's being run. I don't know what to tell my daughter. There's nothing helpless like a parent seeing your daughter panic and not being able to help her, not being able to contain her because the water keeps on coming in. Now, I want to know what's going to be done about this. There's a disturbance out in the Gulf. What's going to happen? What are y'all going to do? We need help. We need you to respond and come up with a plan because this is not going to work. I'm not going to continue to live my life looking outside. Is it going to rain? Was Channel 5 saying? That's not right. We need your help. We're looking for your help. Please help us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else who would like to address the council under citizen participation? Anybody else that would like to address the council under citizens' participation. Anybody else would like to address the council under citizens' participation? If there's nobody else, I will call for the next agenda item. 1.0, public hearing. 1.1, planning and zoning recommendation. And agenda item number 8, rezoning. Mr. Acevedo.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item 1.1A is a public hearing for rezoning of all of Lot 30 and the east half of Lot 29 of Ala Blanca subdivision, unit number 2. The property is currently zoned R1, and the request is to rezone it to C3 general business. Noe Rodriguez is the applicant, and if the council is inclined to approve this rezoning request, it would require the adoption of an ordinance. On August 22nd, 2018, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this rezoning request. The subject site is located along the south side of US Expressway 83 frontage, approximately 500 feet east of Paloma Street. The surrounding zones include C3, general business to the north, C2, neighborhood commercial to the west, and R1, single-family residential to the east and to the south. The subject site does have one residential lot to one side and one commercial lot to the other side, so it's in between both a commercial lot and a residential lot. The future land use map reflects a general commercial land use, thus the request of C3 is consistent, and it seems that being along the expressway, general commercial is something that should be allowed. There was no opposition during the P&Z meeting. The board unanimously recommended approval. Staff is recommending approval, as is our city manager. This is a public hearing. Item 1.1A is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody would like to address the issue? For or against, please. If you want to come to the podium and state your name and your address, please. For or against. This is a public hearing. Again, this is a public hearing for rezoning. There being no public comments, I will close the public hearing and I will listen to the council's wishes.
Are we going to see it on the screen?
It's not popping up. We're seeing it over here, but not over there.
Wait, I mean, it's zone residential, someone living there? And
It's a single-family home that is for sale. The applicant purchased the house with intentions of
commercial.
doing commercial, correct.
I'm having trouble with my
It's coming up.
computer.
Yeah.
There you go, ma'am.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing myself. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Where are you?
Any questions?
Can we see the future land use map in that area?
We don't have an exhibit showing the future land use map, but it is a general commercial area. It's basically just what is fronting the expressway.
Okay. Do we have a minimum on the lot size for a commercial loan?
We don't. There's no specifics as to minimums when it comes to commercial. That's only for residential.
Okay.
Correct. Now, the applicant did mention, when I asked him what his future plans were for this property, and he did mention that he's got somebody that's maybe interested in a daycare.
Okay. I move for approval, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval of ordinance 4686 for the record. This I open it for last discussion from any of the council persons. There being no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll open the public hearing for 1.1B, conditional use permit. Mr. Acevedo.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 1.1B is a conditional use permit for
for a CUP for a conditional use permit for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at El Rinconcito Restaurant. This is at 2530 East Griffin Parkway, being Lot 12 of Sherryland Plaza subdivision. The property is zoned C3 General Commercial, and the applicant is Event Feelies Catering and More LLC. And if the council is inclined to approve this conditional use permit, it would require the adoption of an ordinance. On August 22, 2018, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit request. The subject site is located approximately 200 feet east of Hackberry along the south side of Griffin Parkway. Mr. Hinojosa is proposing to operate a catering business from this location. In talking to Mr. Hinojosa, he rented the facility that used to be Shots Bar and Grill because of the kitchen that the facility has. But he also wants to take advantage of the location, and he's going to open up a small restaurant where he's wanting to sell alcohol also, but it's not going to be like it was in the past. The hours of operation reflect that it will not be a bar like it used to be. The hours are Sunday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Friday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. A total of 5 employees will man the operation. Parking is held in common at this commercial development, and there is some landscaping along 495 as well. Because there is a bar component, we will need a 300-foot separation waiver to the nearest residential subdivision. There is an alley and a residential subdivision to the south. Staff is recommending approval for a period of 2 years, as well as no waiver to the 300-foot separation to the nearest residence. Our city manager is also recommending approval. This is a public hearing item. Item 1.1B is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Is there anybody that wants to address the council for or against, please? This is a public hearing. For or against, if there's anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on the conditional use permit. This is a public hearing. There being no comments, I will close the public hearing and entertain comments from the council.
We have a motion is in order, Mayor. I move for approval.
Yes, motion and second for ordinance 4687. This I open it for final questions by any other council persons. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public hearing for 1.1C, conditional use permit. Mr. Acevedo.
Thank you, Mayor Council. Item 1.1C is a public hearing for a conditional use permit for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at Coffee Artista. The address is 1506 East Griffin Parkway, Suite C. This is on Lot 3, Shaw Ice Center subdivision. The property is zoned C3 General Business, and the applicant is Coffee Artista LLC. And if the council is inclined to approve this conditional use permit, it would require the adoption of an ordinance. On August the 22nd, 2018, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit request. The subject site is located near the southeast corner of Stewart and Griffin Parkway within the Shaw Ice Center. Currently, the applicant runs a coffee shop which offers coffee and sandwiches, and they would like to add wine to the menu. The hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. A total of 6 employees man the operation, and parking and landscaping are existing, and they do meet code. The sale of alcohol does need to be 300 feet from residential uses, and there are some residences within this radius. Thus, a waiver of the 300-foot separation will be in order. Staff is recommending approval. There was no opposition at the P&Z meeting. We're recommending approval subject to a 2-year approval from the date of the TABC license. We're also asking that the property be wet zoned and that they are waived the 300-foot separation to the nearest residence. Our city manager is also recommending approval. This is a public hearing. Item 1.1C is now before you.
This is a public hearing on conditional use permit. Anybody that would like to speak in favor or against this request? This is a public hearing for conditional use permit. Anybody would like to speak in favor or against this request? This is a public hearing on conditional use permit. Anybody in favor or against this request? There being no comment, I will close the public hearing, and I will entertain any comments from the council.
I move for approval, Mayor, as presented.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open up for further discussion. Any discussion by the council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mayor, that would be ordinance number 4688 and 4689.
I would like to repeat that. That's ordinance 4688 and 4689.
That's correct.
Two distinct ordinances.
Yes, sir.
Item 1.1D, Ms. Longoria, this is a public hearing.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor, council members. Item D is public hearing on substantial amendment for Consolidated Plan 2013-17 and Annual Action Plan 2017-18. CAC held a public hearing on August 14, 2018 regarding this amendment. This amendment consists of the revisions, corrections to several goals, priorities, and/or projects of the Consolidated Plan and Annual Action Plan. No comments were received during the 30-day comment period, which ended on September 4th, and this is an opportunity for citizens to comment on this substantial amendment.
This is a public hearing. Anybody from the audience would like to speak in favor or against the substantial amendments for Consolidated Plan 2013-17? This is a public hearing. For or against? This is a public hearing. For and against? I will close the public hearing and ask legal, no action is required. Am I correct?
That's correct, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Ms. Longoria. I will call agenda item 2.0 consent agenda, keeping in mind, council, that if there's any item that you would like to select and speak of, identify it please before we entertain the motion. There will be resolution 1570 and 1571, am I correct?
There's one item that I would like to just say.
Item number, please.
Item number 2.6.
2.6?
Yes.
Okay. You have a question?
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure that Ms. Garza was
Okay.
first.
Well, let me process the consent agenda items first, and I'll call the agenda item itself, okay?
I'm up for approval.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda items except for 2.6.
Second.
We have a second. On this, I open it for further discussions or questions. No discussion, no questions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That includes Resolution 1570 and 1571. Item 2.6, authorization to execute first one-year renewal. Ms. Garza, you have the floor.
Yes, well, I would just like to suggest that we go out for bids. I know that we're exercising an option for a second year on the same bid. But, you know, we may find that we can save some money if we go out for bids, so I would like to do that.
Are you putting in for a motion?
Yes, I would like to go out for bids.
Do we have a second?
Mayor,
Hold on, let me...
I apologize.
Let me recognize the motion and the second, and I'll open it for discussion, and legal, you can go ahead and...
I think the correct motion would have been to not to deny the authorization to go out for the second year. Right?
That's correct, and then staff can present an item to solicit at a future agenda. That's correct, Mayor.
So that would be my motion.
Mayor, can I have a question?
Let me recognize the change in the motion first, and
So my motion is to deny the authorization to execute the second year for the...
Okay, then do you accept that as a second, Mr. This I open it for discussion, Ms. Ochoa.
I have a
Go ahead.
question for Mr. Arevalo.
Mr. Arevalo?
Mr. Mr. Arevalo, exclusive decals and screen printing was way lower than we have bid it out in the past. Am I correct?
Yes, they were over $5,000 lower than anybody else.
Okay. And how was our service as far as getting the shirts and all the gear and everything that we've needed in the
Yeah,
city?
we were able to get over 3,000 uniforms. We did well with him. Actually, we started in August till this summer, which was our last season. And I guess I was talking to Ms. Garza earlier, and I know there was, I guess, an issue on one of the shirts. So the rest of the uniforms have been turned in on time. We haven't had any major issues that we haven't, been able to fix. So we've had good service with him in the last year or so.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, we're actually just kind of moving towards just one-year contracts and going out for bids in order to make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck, basically. So that's really the reasoning behind my my request to go out for bids.
Any other comment?
They could still submit a bid.
Yes, they could absolutely submit a bid.
I will call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Nay.
What was the motion?
The motion was not to authorize to the execution of the first year and go out for bids and solicit bids.
I'll say okay to bids.
So it's 3 yes and 1 nay?
We can't go out for bids right now. All we're doing right now is
Denying the
authorization for the second.
And it'll be,
And then next time, we'll-
next city council meeting, bring
an item.
Just the only thing that I know we're always rushing in time. I know we go over the seasons with the school districts. We're doing volleyball and football, and I was talking to our purchasing director, and it is going to take us over a month, and then it'll be like a month and a half. So we're looking at November. We're starting football in November, which is already cold. That's the only concern that I do have.
And when does their contract end,
Their contract is...
let me tell you one thing. I'm calling a special meeting for Thursday. If you want to get the agenda item and for that, we'll go out the bid to shorten your time.
Okay.
Because the motion already passed. Not to authorize. So if you want to prepare a package by that, as far as the next, because we have to approve the preliminary budget. So we'll add that to your agenda, so you can speed up your process.
Okay.
Mayor, can I ask a question real quick?
As long as it's aligned to 2.6.
So then if we go out for bids, it's going to jeopardize getting uniforms to our children in a timely manner for their events?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, then
Thank you, Mr. Arevalo.
let's have them do it this year and then bids early next year for the for the subsequent fiscal year if it's going to jeopardize any type of uniform. So having gotten that information, Mr. Mayor, then yeah, I think I'm in favor of executing the one-year renewal this year and then next year going out for bids. If it's going to jeopardize...
I would have to ask legal where we're at with, he is...
Has there been a vote, Mayor, on this item?
Yes.
And
Yes.
there was...
a vote and a question that was asked after the vote, which shed more light on it than...
The only concern with, once a vote has been taken, the item is complete, Mayor. Now, if there's a different direction for staff to come back with another item on another day, but right now the vote is 3-2 and the item...
So the council person cannot change his vote?
Not...
No, it's okay, Your Honor. I mean, and we can authorize the city attorney to write a letter to the individual saying, while the bid process is ongoing, continue whatever you have to do.
It's not on the agenda, that particular item, but we can present, we do have a special meeting on Friday if we can present a special item with regards to continuation of services of the...
We can find the gap while the bid process is going on. So we'll put it on Thursday's agenda.
That's the 14th.
Thursday, Friday?
I stand corrected. The special meeting is on Friday, 14th. Okay, so you have now to the 14th, for the record, I would have authorized the extension also for the children, so, just for the record. But it is what it is. Thank you, Mr. Rivera.
So it'll come back, right?
We can do a letter.
Okay. Huh?
Happens all the
Put
time.
it in a special meeting.
No, that's correct, Mayor. The action was correct.
Yes. But the vote, it was 3-2.
Yes, Mayor, that's my
For the record-
understanding.
For the
Yes.
record, because I would have authorized it. Okay, 3.0, approval and authorization. 3.1, we have a board appointments. Ms. Carrillo, please. And if your name is called as part of the board appointment, please stand so our citizens can recognize you as well as see you live on Facebook also. So,
Mayor, Council, good afternoon. Item 3.1 are the board appointments for Sherry Golf Course Advisory Board. And this is to appoint Mr. John Lopez to replace Richard Hernandez, term to expire December 31st of 2018. Appoint Mr. Benjamin Lau to replace Mario Ramirez, who resigned, term to expire December 31st of 2019. On Juvenile Justice and Prevention Advisory Board, Mayor, this is more of like a housekeeping type, but now the ex officio member from the fire department to replace Mr. Gilbert Sanchez, who is now under, under the fire department fire chief. We're going to replace him with Assistant Fire Chief Rene Alvarez. And in the police department, also we want to replace Mr. Victor Solis with Ms. Nora Lozano. In Citizens Advisory Committee, is to appoint Roxanne Mendez to the Northeast position, and this is to replace Mr. John Lopez, and this is term to expire December 31st of 2018.
Roxanne Mendez here, by any chance?
She was going to come, she said.
I know she...
Yeah, she was here. I think she's outside.
Okay. Any questions? Do I hear, entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second to approve the appointments. Any discussion by any of the council before asking for the vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Please come up so we can take a picture of the new appointees.
Roxanne here? I thought y'all said she was outside. Here?
Congratulations. See you.
I don't see her, that's do you see her?
She walked outside and she went to the restroom.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, glad to see you.
Hi, sir.
Hi, John. Glad to see you.
Chief Alvarez? Yes, sir. You're weird.
Get on this side, sir.
You're
Sorry, Gus.
All right.
Didn't mean to step on your toes there.
PD rep is not here, Chief. PD rep is not here.
Here she comes.
Yeah, here she comes.
Okay, make more room.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah. Just gotta go on that side.
Congratulations.
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 Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I did not read Zoning Board of Adjustments. It was to appoint Mr. Guillermo Martinez to replace Mike Fredericks, who resigned from the board. I don't know if Mr. Martinez is here with us.
Mr. Martinez?
He's right there.
Why? We apologize, Mr. Martinez, but But if you want to come over, we'll
Let's
take a picture. Yeah, we got to take a picture, Mr. Martinez. We got to put you in the history books.
I'll move to approve, Your Honor.
He was already approved, right? I couldn't see you with, there's somebody with a maroon shirt.
It's always good.
Congratulations.
It's always good to be
Yes.
the lone one. More impact. Ready? Smile, please. Can you move a little bit?
To get skinnier.
Not there. Center.
Center.
Yeah.
Right there.
Thank you. Thank you. Perfect.
Again, Mr. Guillermo Martinez, we apologize. Item 3.2, approval of ordinance number
4690?
4690.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Mead, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Today I'm requesting the adoption of the Mission EDC fiscal year 2018-2019 budget with appropriations in the amount of $5,700,927, of which the MEDC debt service budget in the amount of $1,105,199. This budget was already approved by the MEDC board on August 21st, 2018, and I'm asking that for your authorization to approve, or you're requesting adoption as well.
Do we have a motion to approve ordinance 4690?
Move to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 4690. This I open it for further discussion. Anybody have a question about the adopted budget, annual budget? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 3.3, approval of ordinance 4691. Mr. Mead.
Mayor, as you know, we manage two organizations, or I manage two organizations there at the EDC. One of them is the Mission Economic Development Authority, which is basically the land holding company for the industrial park. So I'm requesting the adoption of the Mission EDA fiscal year 2018-2019 budget with appropriations in the amount of $533,416. This budget was also approved on August 21st, 2018 by the Mission EDA board.
This I open it for anybody wishing to make a motion.
I'll move to approve, Your Honor.
We have a motion, we have a second, and this I open it for further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
3.4, Ms. Longoria.
Yes, this is 3.4, approval of substantial amendment for Consolidated Plan 2013-17 and Annual Action Plan 2017-18. We previously went on a public hearing earlier, and the purpose of this amendment, as I stated, is to revise and correct several goals, priorities, and/or projects of the Consolidated Plan and an Annual Action Plan. The revisions will be made to the goals of several agencies due to reduction in funding, return of funds due to strict income eligibility requirements, and provision of services decreasing beneficiaries. The corrections will be made to reclassify the priority goal to assist homeless. Also, expansion of services to provide waiver of fees for after-school and sports program for the Boys and Girls Club. CSA held a public hearing, and no comments were received during the 30-day comment period. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Do I hear a motion for approval?
I move to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the substantial amendment for the Consolidated Plan 2013-19 and the Action Plan 2017-18. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
3.5, Ms. Longoria, approval of amendments.
Yes, this item is for approval of amendment for the Citizens Participation Plan. The purpose for this amendment is to revise the requirements of substantial amendments to include creation, deletion of an activity, change in priorities, and reduction of proposed beneficiaries. Minor revisions included were to add the city's website and to update 1 year to annual throughout the document, which HUD uses. CAC held a public hearing, no comments were received, and staff and city manager recommend approval.
Do I hear a motion for approval?
I move to approve.
We have a motion and a second to approve the amendment for citizen participation plan.
Jessica, second.
Yes, she was recognized as a second.
I'm sorry.
Open it for further discussion, permitting the council persons. No further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'm assuming it's a yes, right?
Yes.
Mr. Plata?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Longoria. 3.6, authorization to approve substantial completion for the Leo Peña Placita Park. Mr. Das?
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. I come before you to present item 3.6, authorization to approve substantial completion for Leo Peña Placita Park. This will allow for the city to receive the certificate of occupancy allowing public use. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
Mayor, I move to approve.
We have a motion to authorize the approval
Second.
and a second. Further discussion?
Mayor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Terrazas, with the rain from yesterday, how did those rocks in the trail do? They were like little pebbles, is from what I see.
It's the crushed granite. They stay in place. They were compacted before it was.
Has anybody inspected them?
Oh, okay. I want to see
Yes,
when
sir.
you have a chance. I'd like
we
to go
did.
see it. I know that the event was canceled last night for
That's
tomorrow
correct.
night. Maybe we can make time this week so all of us can go see it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mr.
you.
Terraz? Thank you. 3.7, July 2018 financial statement. Ms. Vela?
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. Item 3.7 is the July 2017 financial statements. Adjusted beginning fund balance was $17,464,024. Total revenues for the month were $7,464,311, and total expenditures were $10,049,327, leaving an ending fund balance of $14,879,008 with $1.9 in general fund.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions on the financial statements?
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Now you have a second, and this open for further discussion. No discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 3.9, budget amendment, general fund.
Item 3.9 is, actually it's 3.8 is the budget amendments.
Correction, 3.8. Stand corrected.
And we have three in the general fund. The first is in organizational, a reclassification of $333,000 for funds necessary to cover engineering fees on projects and expenditures through the rest of the fiscal year. And an amendment of expenditures of $45,030 in the election department for additional costs related to the May election and the June runoff election. The invoice from the county totaled $77,705.50. And in the fire department, a reclassification of $9,900, funds necessary to cover expenditures for the purchase of additional mattresses and related bedding furniture for 4 fire stations. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. This open up for further discussion by any other council. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of resolution number 1573. Ms. Vela?
Item 3.9 is the approval of resolution number 1573, authorizing the mayor to execute a letter of commitment to Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council for downtown La Placita project. As required by the Federal Transit Administration, a local funding match is required for the FTA grants. The Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council is asking for a letter of commitment to satisfy this requirement. It will demonstrate the ability of the city to provide the cash match and to continue with the process of providing reimbursement. The local funding match requirement for the downtown La Placita project is $133,404.
Do I hear approval?
I have a question.
Go ahead. Let me get the motion first to either approve or disapprove.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve and a second to approve, and this I open it for discussion. Ms. Garza, you have the floor.
Yes, just, what exactly is the 133,000?
That's the grant that we got. It's a Federal Transit Authority grant. The total amount of the grant was $533,626, and it was to do improvements in La Placita project that were related to making it a...
Which have already been done?
Yes, which have already been done.
So this is our part of the improvements. This is our share of what's already been done?
Yes.
Okay.
The grant is 80/20, am I correct?
Yes,
Right?
80/20.
And this is the 20%, part of the 20% that we have to match with, well, it's not a match, it's a
To
pitch-in.
make up the full amount,
To
yes.
hit 100%.
Can we pay them back in payments?
Huh?
Can we pay them back in
Payments.
payments? Can we get a payment plan on that?
Mhm.
No?
Have you already budgeted for this?
We've already expensed.
It's already,
Expensed, yeah. And it's just, they require this letter in order to request
Yeah.
the reimbursement.
Okay.
all questions have been answered?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
3.10, Mr. Perez, discussion and action on proposed supervisory wage increases.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item 3.10 is the discussion and action on proposed supervisory wage increase and EMT training and certification for the Mission Fire Department. And Mayor and Council, this is the item that was discussed at the workshop, and staff at this time is seeking direction from the council at this time.
I'll open it for direction from the council.
Well, I'll reiterate in brief what I said during the workshop, that the 230,000 and another 40 for them, not so much the EMT, but for the raises for the regular firefighters, it's 270. We owe it to them, and we should find it. And if we have to do a budget amendment or think about this a couple months down the road, then I'm okay with that, and I think the union is as well, as long as we offer our commitment to get them the funds.
Mr. Mayor, I apologize for interrupting, Mayor. Just for purposes of clarification, our agenda, the way it's presented is discussion and action on proposed supervisory wage increases and EMT training and certifications for the Mission Fire Department. So if any action is going to be taken, it would have to be limited to one of those two items. And I'm just making this comment based on Mr. Martinez's comment here.
Right.
One of those two?
Or both, I'm sorry.
Or
Yes,
both,
that's
because of the word "and."
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's basically either we approve or deny either one of the two items.
Both items are listed as action items, so it could be...
We can take them separately.
Can we table it?
Whatever action the council wishes to take, but I just wanted to give the council a reminder that the only items that are listed for consideration are those on the proposed supervisory wage increases and EMT training and certifications for the Mission Fire Department.
So, Mayor, can I ask legal a question?
Yes.
So we cannot discuss right now the 24 officers that are not included in this plan?
Discussions can be had if it influences your decision as to those two items, but any final action must be limited to those two items. That's correct.
I actually like your idea about tabling it.
Yes.
You know, based on the fact that since we're going to have the approval of the budget on Friday, and then if we need to, we'll still have another city council meeting, am I correct, before October 1st?
We do have the special meeting on Friday, and Anna, when's the next one?
The 20th.
It's in October, but the budget must be approved 15 days prior to the
That's
beginning
correct.
of the fiscal year.
And so...
That's
We-
pursuant to our
Right,
charter.
but
We have to
but
approve
that
before
will be
the-
aligned with Mr. Martinez's request about the...
Well, if that's
About,
if that's the case, then we're conceding that it would be a budget amendment then.
That's what I'm saying, it would be aligned to your budget amendment.
I'm not opposed to that, as long as we can put a specific date as to when that budget amendment's going to occur, so the union doesn't feel like they're being left out. As long as we can come to some type of, yeah, that's fine. But as long as we can not delay this any longer than we have to. A budget amendment come early, mid-October, we can get the funds to them by November, something along those lines.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd just like to finish my, I, like just the other city council members and the mayor, appreciate the hard work of both police and fire, and all their hard work that they do for the citizen submission, especially last night. I saw it firsthand on the road. Having said that, I'm willing to support closing the gap, as you all have already instructed, with the salaries and benefits, as long as it does not jeopardize our healthy budget. And so I, like Mr. Martinez, would like to amend the budget after we have a workshop discussing exactly what you all want.
Ms. Garza, you have a...
I'm still, I mean, I haven't not heard a motion, so I'm going to make a motion. And my motion is to approve the EMT training certifications and the supervisory wage increases for...
For the amount of what? What's the total amount? How much are we gonna, how much are we gonna put in the budget?
It was like
Because that has to come out of the...
228 plus 46 or something, 274, right around there?
Because that needs to be very, very clear to our citizens that...
Okay, not to
that we're
exceed the $275,000. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, that was the amount that, for the 3,000 bump, 224 and change, and then the EMT was another 46, so, yeah, it's about 270.
And make it very clear also your...
Proposed amount.
Make it very clear also your revenue source, which you only have one, which is the fund balance, unless you have other revenue sources.
So I'm okay approving the proposed amount as long as we can agree or let's have it done outside this year's budget so as not to drain the general fund. A budget amendment is a viable option and one that will not displace the firefighters. As long as we can come to an agreement that the 270 should go to them at some very soon time in the future.
My motion is to approve and not to exceed $275,000.
Both items.
Both items.
Second.
You have a motion and a second to approve both items, and the funding revenue be obtained from the general fund balance, right? Or are we going to cut services within the budget, or what? I need to know the revenue source that you're going to use, because that's what...
It would come from the general fund at this time. Budget amendments can be made later throughout the year, if need be.
Transfers can always be made.
Okay. Any questions by any of the council members? To me, it's not very clear where the revenues are coming from.
Right.
Or we're gonna work it through through the October the 1st, or...
And that's when, and to me, Mr. Mayor, that's not, that's too much of a black and white motion. I really don't want it to come from the general fund if we're gonna be needing that for any drainage issues, or a budget amendment can happen immediately after we close on this year's budget, and I think we're better off just agreeing that we owe them the money and we'll get them the money as soon as we can. We'll have a workshop, we'll get the money in November. But just to pull it from this year's general fund, I'm not sure that's the greatest idea.
Are you amending the motion?
For November?
Are you amending the motion, Mr. Martinez?
It's not my motion to amend.
My motion.
I'm just kind of maybe speaking out of line, saying that's...
If you feel better,
yeah.
if I can add to my motion to be effective November 1st, that'll give us time to look at it a little closer, and I would be okay to amend my motion to be effective November 1st.
Mayor Pro Tem, can I ask a question?
Hold on, I got a second to amend. Go ahead now.
I would like a workshop with Mr. Lopez and actually outline exactly what it is they're proposing, because I understand that what they originally had with the chief was only a little bit more, but it's going to close the gap. And then I also would like to include the 24 firefighters for them to get a raise as well, because I don't think it's fair that only the supervisors get something right now.
And maybe also the other 9 that are coming in also. Because we don't want to leave them behind either. Yeah.
Then having said that, then we could hammer down a date in a sense, or
Well, I said November 1st.
November 1st?
Yes.
No, I mean for the workshop.
Yeah.
That's fine, but was the goal November 1st?
Okay. Now I'm going to ask legal to clarify the motion and what we have on the table.
Mayor, so my understanding of Ms. Nori Garza's motion is that to approve EMT and supervisory wage increases not to exceed $275,000, and for those increases to be effective October 1st, as that motion was amended?
November 1st.
November 1st.
November 1st,
Mhm.
as that motion was amended, is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
And then I have a second by Mr. Plata to that amended motion, is that correct? Those are the motions before the council.
I have to vote on the amendment motion first, right?
That's correct, Mayor.
Do I hear all those in favor of the amendment for it to indicate November the 1st? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This I'll open it for any further discussion of the amended motion by any of the council persons before I call for the vote.
Any what? I'm sorry?
Any
Now we're voting on
discussion
the actual motion.
on the motion with the amendment part of November the 1st?
As long as it's generally understood that this will be a budget amendment as absolutely soon as possible, not,
It's not necessarily a budget amendment, it's just going to be effective November 1st. So it's just, I mean, it's basically the same thing. Doesn't come into play until November 1st.
But after I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem, but we're going to have input from the fire department to make a decision where the monies are going to go.
Yes.
yeah. So we're agreeing to have a final discussion in a sense with the firefighters and.
That's not going to work.
And
all those, yes.
I'm sorry, I apologize, Mayor. So the only thing that's before the council is an amended motion for the wage increases and EMT certifications not to exceed $275,000. Any other items that are going to be left for discussion either need to be included in the motion or maybe considered outside of this agenda item. But currently, right now, what we have is an amended motion for November 1st effective wage increases and EMT certifications with the second. And that's the only thing that can be voted on at this moment.
But the problem is that we're probably looking to trade the EMT for the regular firefighters. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we're not really voting on the EMT since it seems that money for the EMT would go to the regular firefighters at a 3%.
Actually, we are voting on the EMT because it's part of the agenda item.
Right.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying that.
Let me just make my motion really clear.
Okay.
My motion is to approve the, let me see, let's read it straight off this thing here. Approve the supervisory wage increases and EMT training and certifications for Mission Fire Department, effective November 1st. Basically, that means that they will get their increase by November 1st. I know that our budget starts October 1st, that's our fiscal year, but their wage increase will be shown
November.
and effective November 1st. That's my motion.
Go ahead, Mr.
Not to exceed the $275,000, which means that basically we are going to discuss on how that 275 is going to get allocated. So that gives us the opportunity to discuss with the fire department to see exactly how they want it divided up. So does that answer the questions?
And also where the money's coming from, where it's going to be a budget amendment or.
Gus, we're not talking about budget amendments right now.
I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, which I'm opposed, I just want to let you know, I'm not opposed for the firemen, I'm opposed because the money is going to be taken from the general fund balance, and until we're physically responsible for that part, then I will vote in favor of any and all raises, including the minimum wage, because I remember when I voted, that when we had to vote at the workshop, we went from $8.50 to $9.50, and we agreed that that's where we were going to stay, and so I just want to make sure that my vote is cast, not against the fire department, not against the firefighters, but against the fact that the fund balance doesn't have the money for us to move without putting us in a fiscal irresponsible setting, and that's not what I...
And I appreciate that, Mayor. That's why I wanted to have a budget amendment after the fund balance, once we get into next fiscal year and we can trim some positions and find that 275.
And at that time, I will vote in favor of it when I know the money's there.
So, okay, so this council is okay if I ask for a special meeting in October to address that issue, to see when we can amend the budget to get them these funds?
I think the motion already passed. Am I correct, Mr.?
I didn't know the count, Mayor.
Still in a vote. We haven't voted. Mayor, if I could say
Go ahead.
my piece. My motion is nay, only because I feel that you all deserve your raises, but so do the 24 firefighters. And I think that the EMT proposal that you all have for $38,000 could go towards the raises to the 24 firefighters. And so the way it was outlined by Mayor Pro Tem Nori Garza, it's not the route that I would like to go, because I do speak to you all on a regular basis. And so my motion is nay.
Mr. Plata?
I had second the motion.
But it's your time to vote.
I vote for it. I second the motion.
Okay. Ms. Garza?
I'm in favor of my motion.
Right,
Yes.
but you need to cast your vote.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yes, that's where we're at.
I'm a yes.
Okay. Mr. Martinez?
The motion as it's presented, it's too concrete in terms of it has to go to EMT and it has to go this amount. I think we're better served in a couple of weeks or whenever having a budget amendment, that way hash it out, and by November they can get exactly what they want.
Yes.
It can still be done.
What's your vote? In
Well,
favor
because
of...
here we have to give it to the EMT, and we can't consider raises for the regular firefighters. So, I mean, we're at this, since we submitted the agenda item, apparently there were different ideas that circulated, and all of a sudden here we are, it's tied our hands. So I'm going to have to vote no just on that.
Before we take the final vote, can I amend my motion? Can I do that?
The answer, I'm not recognizing it.
we can only vote
I'm
on
not
it.
recognizing, the only thing I'm recognizing is he needs to cast his vote in favor or against the motion, as is stated.
But it's in the 275,000.
He needs to cast his vote. With respect. Mr. Martinez?
Oh, no, my vote's no, because, and
We have a 3-2 vote to not accept the proposal
to not accept the motion as
presented.
we're still going to push for the money, though.
We have a collaborative model in place. We have other factors. We have the whole year, October 1st to do budget, from October 1st to September 31st to do budget amendments, and so forth.
Well, for the record, I'll be
Mayor.
submitting a request for
I would
budget
like
amendment.
a workshop as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
We can do the workshops, we can do the...
And Mr. Lopez, you will be there to guide us on what the majority of your union wants.
Okay. Mr. Perez, thank you very much. That takes care of 3.10, am I correct, Mr. Flores?
Yes, Mayor. If no other motion is on the table, the item would die at that point. Mayor, and before you continue, I apologize, but in an effort to provide the proper legal advice to the council, an item 2.6 was considered, and in doing some research while during the meeting, Mayor, I reviewed Robert's rules, and it's a scenario that we don't experience here often, but there is a process by which a board member can make a motion to reconsider when he or she wishes to ask the entire board to revisit a previous decision so long as it's made at the same meeting. So there is a motion to reconsider that is available to the council, and I'm just advising.
So I could call 2.6 back?
So long as a board member wishes to have the previous decision reconsidered.
And I do.
And I'm sorry, it can only, the board member has to be one that voted.
So it's Ms. Nori.
That's correct.
No, it'd be Mr. Martinez.
Or Mr. Martinez, correct.
And
Or Mr. Plata.
on item 2.6, if you wanted to reconsider your vote?
Or 2.6.
2.6.
Oh, that's the one about the shirts or whatever?
If you want to reconsider, Mr. Arevalo, you're here, you want to come over here to see if there's any questions. I am calling for agenda item 2.6 under Robert's Rule of Orders. Am I correct, Mr. Flores?
The only thing is, Mayor, we can't consider it unless there is a motion to reconsider.
Yes, but
Oh, yeah, no.
the motion
To reconsider? Only because if there's going to be a problem in getting the shirts out this year, then yeah.
So can I hear you say, I make a motion?
Well, I need some information. Is there going to be a problem getting the shirts out this year?
Yes.
There is?
When do you need the shirts by?
Well, we need them in the next 17 days.
17 days?
Normally, we give the gentleman 17 to 21 days. So we're looking at starting the season on the last week of September.
Well, I'm really disappointed that something is
Yeah.
here 17 days
Why do you
before.
wait?
I'm going to make a motion to reconsider.
I was going to say, let's call the motion back so I can...
And once there's comments, I want the microphone again.
Okay,
A motion to reconsider.
Do we have a motion? Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion second to bring back 2.6 under Robert's Rule of Orders, authorization to execute first one-year renewal options for the Athletic League uniform for Boys and Girls Club fiscal year 2018-2019. And this I open it for discussion.
You should have been here 3 months ago, brother. Sorry. 17 days, and now you're bringing up a renewal like you were trying to push it through? No. You should have been here in June.
That's not
Yeah,
acceptable.
we had a one-year contract.
It doesn't really matter. You should have been here 3 months ago. If you're going to, and that's a notice for all directors. If you have a contract coming up, please be here 90 days before the contract is going to come up.
At least.
Do not put us in a situation where it's 17 days before the contract is going to renew and you want us to actually discuss something like that. Please, don't let that happen again.
I'll take care of
And
that.
I will think as a mayor, I'll direct it to the city manager that is a practice that we would like to have in the city of Mission.
We'll correct
You know,
that.
As far as that is concerned, all the contracts that, come before us at least 90 days before renewal, because the option will always be that we want to bid out at all times. That's a practice that we have started now with, especially the 3-year contracts that require renewal 1 year, 2 renewals. So if you could put it in the bid packages.
We'll take care of that, sir, and Eduardo Belmares, our Director of Purchasing, is taking a note of that.
Yes.
Who reviews that? You in purchasing?
Yeah, it's the purchasing, yes.
And this, I open it for final discussions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And you are authorized to extend it for 1 more year. However, the next one, if you come, the odds are no extension. You're excused, Mr. Cook. Unfinished business, we have none on the agenda. 5.1, city manager's comment.
I just want to thank all the public servants that whom we worked closely with yesterday, the police officers, the firefighters. They worked hard all last night, making sure that we provided all the services. Also, Public Works, Parks, Emergency Management, all the staff that really came out last night, making sure that our citizens were going to be serviced. There's a lot of need out there. We understand and we take note of what the citizens' participation and their comments were, and we take that to heart. Myself personally, and I know that our directors as well, and I know that our public servants as well, and so we take pride in the type of service that we provide, Mayor, and we're going to try to get the answers for our residents and our citizens.
5.2, Mayor's comment. I just want to echo what the city manager just said. I want to thank all the directors that were out there and all the firefighters and first responders and Hidalgo County Irrigation District Number 6 that came and assisted us in the last spur of the moment to help us drain out some ditches. I want to publicly thank them and that they were available, and Hidalgo County Emergency Department, also the coordinator and his staff, and all the county employees that were out there. The constable office that was out there also, and DPS that were out there, that we call them, and chief, make sure that the local officers get a special thank you from us as far as that is concerned, because what seemed like a shower turned into almost a 18-hour event, so make sure that everybody, all the way down to the labor persons that were putting out the barricades, and so forth, that they were out there in the middle of the rain and lightning and so forth, and I saw that firsthand myself, just to the FYI. So as far as that, I do also want to notify the public that we are going to have a budget special call meeting to approve the budget. We are required by the city charter to have the budget pre-approved, not pre-approved, actually approved by August the 15th, which is Saturday. So we have to do it by Friday, as far as that is concerned. So just to let the public know that. Other than that, I will open it for city council comments, and I'll start with Mr. Martinez and work our way down.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to reiterate to the public and to the citizens that as soon as the fiscal year is over, October 1st, whatever it is, I will be seeking a workshop to strongly consider a budget amendment to offer the firefighters the monies for the gap separation and for the regular firefighters increases. And if we're having trouble finding the money, well then the next logical step is to do a forensic audit of the city, trim it of its waste, get rid of non-essential personnel, and focus on what's proper. Thank you.
Ms. Garza?
I have
No comment?
No other comments.
Thank you. Ms. Ochoa?
Mayor and Council, Mr. Garza, I would like to request a drainage workshop to discuss immediate solutions and peace of mind to the citizens. And I want to assure the citizens of Mission that from now on, the Department of Public Works will be answering their phone. I myself called the director yesterday and no answer. And so from now on, I hope, Martin, you will address that. We need to have some type of hotline or some type of phone, so that way the citizens can have, I didn't know what else to do, so I had PD come pick me up and take me to the areas, and, I feel for these families. And so we need to bond together and figure out a solution for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session. We do have some items in executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Under Executive BTCA Government Code Section 551.001, Mr. Martinez, you're recognized, and Ms. Ochoa is recognized as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'm ready to entertain a reconvening motion.
So moved.
We have a motion to reconvene. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. 6.0, executive session. 6.1, personnel matter. 6.1A and B. Let's call 6.1A first. Mr. Flores?
6.1A, Mayor, was a deliberation regarding the employment agreement of city manager, and there is no action needed on this item.
And 6.1B?
6.1B was deliberation regarding duties and other employment matters of the presiding judge of the municipal court, and no action is needed on this item as well.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. 7.0, adjournment. Do I hear
So moved.
a motion to adjourn? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.